let's jump right into our Limitless series tonight. As you guys know, we've been talking about the 12 spiritual laws of the universe. And the first law that we're going to cover tonight is the law of correspondence. This is one that I've said 1,000, million, 100 times. The input equals the output, guys. What is the law of correspondence about? The law of correspondence states that your external reality is a direct reflection of your internal state. This law makes it easy to assess the alignment of your vibration. Why? If you don't like what you're seeing on the outside, if you don't like what you're seeing on your day-to-day life, how can you fix it? You can change your input. And if your life appears to be out of order, it means your vibration is out of alignment with the loving energy of the universe. We talked extensively last night about flooding the world with love. Send that love out. Give love to people who don't deserve it. Love yourself, because that's what the universe wants. They want that greater good. And if your life appears to be thriving, what does that mean? It means your vibration is in alignment with the loving energy of the universe. We explained that vibration last night, so hopefully all of y'all are on the same page with us. But the way I like to think about this law of the universe is as a mirror. The universe is going to show us the inside of ourselves. We can't cut ourselves open. We don't have an x-ray machine to, CAT scan our brain. So how can we judge what's inside there? We can look at what the result is. 2 plus 2 always equals 4. The input always equals the output, right? Well, what happens if you're consistently thinking that you're entering 2 plus 2 and you keep getting 1.5? You keep getting 3. You keep getting 6. And you're not seeing the results that you want to see. That means you got to change that input a little bit. And this law of the universe is designed to help show you that. When you look in your trading account and you see that number, whatever that number may be, does it match your mindset? Absolutely. Every single time. That's what the law of correspondence states. Because if you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, like sticking to your trade plan, like being disciplined in the trades that you take, like having your frequency in tune with the universe, as we talked about the law of attraction last night, we talked about, adjusting your frequency. We talked about like attracts like. This is going to tell you if you've got it on the right radio dial, right? We talked about that last night. Adjust your frequency. You're going to get a different channel on the radio. This is going to put you on a radio station automatically. It's going to tune you in to where you're at right now. Now, how do you change that dial? You change that input. And we talked about some of that last night with your thought pattern change, your speech pattern change, your action pattern change, and your habit pattern change. And think about how powerful it is. Think about some of the people that are in this Discord tonight. Miss Chica had one of the most profitable trades she ever took in her life today. Why? Because of the changes she's making. Mr. Skadoosh stuck to his rules like he never stuck to his rules today. Why? Because his mindset is changing. His thoughts are changing. His words are changing. His habits are changing. He's letting go of those limiting beliefs. And the same thing for everyone else in here. We got guys in here that have, 30-year experience records. You're talking about somebody with a 70, a 80, a 90% win rate that's been developed in a short amount of time. Why? Because the mind shift changed. because the word speech pattern change, because the action pattern change. So this right here is telling you, okay, yesterday we talked about how to adjust our frequency. We know that like attracts like. This is giving you the mirror version to say, undoubtedly, I preach brutal honesty. OT talks about, Ray Dalio in the meritocracy of trading. There's no getting around this, guys. The law of correspondence. That mirror is going to show you the truth. If you're not sticking to your plan, if you're not taking your entries and exits like they're supposed to be, the universe is going to show you that. And all you have to do is look at the output. That's huge, guys. That's your gauge. That's your starting point. That's where you are right now. But guess what? It's not stuck there. You don't have to accept that. We talked last night about radical acceptance, and yeah, we want to accept where we are right now. But we don't have to accept the fact that it has to stay like that forever, right? Because we're intentionally changing our speech, our words, our actionable behaviors. And that's what the law of correspondence lets you. It's the grade. It's the A+, it's the B+, it's the C+, it's the B+. And I said that about how I love the grade your trade system. That's subjective. You get to give yourself that grade. This right here is the universe giving you a grade. This is the universe letting you know exactly where you're at. And I want to point this out because it's a tool that you can use to grow yourself. It's powerful, guys. It's a very powerful thing to be able to look into the mirror and see things as they actually are. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. The second law of the spiritual universe is the law of relativity. We've all heard of the theory of relativity. Things are relative. We talked last night about Albert Einstein, who came up with the theory of relativity. But what's the Webster's definition of relativity? It's the absence of standards of absolute and universal application. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does 2 + 2 = 4? I said input always equals output. So we know that must be true, right? But how do you view that output? Let's use colors for this example. Is that 4 red? Is that 4 green? Is that 4 blue, purple, yellow, white? Is it upside down? How do you view that, what the mirror showed you? Let's just say the law of correspondence showed you that you need to spend more time in self-care. Let's just say that the law of relativity showed you that you need to put more love into the world. Let's just say the law of relativity told you you're on the right track. You're doing good. Keep doing what you're doing. Why is this law of relativity important? Because you get to decide how you judge the output. The law of relativity states that everything is relative because we all perceive our reality in our own way. Go back to that definition real quick. It's the absolute of a standard. We all know different standards of different things. Some of y'all know I breed dogs and believe in animal husbandry, etc., etc. There's a breed standard, okay, for what that dog should look like, how it should stand, how its bones should be, how its coloring should be. Well, the universe is saying in the law of relativity, there is no standard. You judge it based on your own thoughts, based on your own experience, based on your own past, based on your own desires for the future. And this law explains why two people can go through the exact same situation but have two entirely different experiences. We've seen that in real time. How many of us have been in chat together and we all see the same setup? One person's scared to take this trade. One person takes this trade early because they're overconfident. one person takes this trade at the right time. And you could still have 3 different exit points. The person who took it early could exit early. The person who took it early could exit late. The person who took it early could exit, quote unquote, right on time, right? We've all seen that situation where all of us are being the same trade because Wolfpack cross, and we're all hyped up and we know it's coming and we're ready and we're prepared and we're ready to get that money for our families. We're ready to win. But we don't all play it in the same way. Why? Because we all have different things to bring to the table. We all have different financial standpoints. We all have different levels of experience. This is what this is telling you, is that it's subjective. Understanding this law helps you prioritize inner peace. We talked about some of that last night. Inner peace over defending the truth, because truth is relative anyways. I don't know that we have any lawyers in here. And lawyers' jobs are to bend the truth in order to fit the narrative of the jury, to prove a client guilty or not guilty. What is the truth, guys? What is it? If you don't enter at 10:03 on this Wolfpack cross, but you enter instead at 10:05, are you wrong? Are you late? What happens if you enter at 10:01 instead of 10:03 on this Wolfpack cross? Are you early? Are you late? Are you behind the 8 ball? Only you can decide that. Zorento, only you can decide if you're late. Only you can make the choice of, hey, I'm right where I need to be. Hey, I'm glad to get 10% profit even if I didn't catch 50% profit. And what about if you work that in reverse? What about those of us who take a trade and exit based on our conservative opinions? Oh, I'm going to take profit at this resistance level. And instead, that trade continues to run $4 lower, like the one this morning. A lot of us were in that. I made good money on that trade. I was thankful to make good money on that trade. I took it from the Genesis. Do I wish that maybe I'd held 10 more minutes and caught, a couple $100 more? Maybe. But guess what I get to choose about that trade when I go to view it? Am I going to focus on the fact that I'm mad that I didn't catch it at the exact bottom and FOMO and make myself into a frenzy for the next trade? Or am I going to have a heart of gratefulness? Am I going to say, thank you, universe? Thank you for letting me catch a piece of that to feed my family. Thank you for letting me have this money that you provided for me that I was able to obtain in this market structure that we have today. I know a lot of us have probably heard of rose-colored glasses, the old cliche. And another one, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? All of us have the chance to be those different types of persons every single day, on every single decision, on every single trade, right? We get to choose. That's what the law of relativity states. Not only that it's going to automatically show us something different, but that the fact is that we get to choose how we view it. That's unlimited creation, right? That's you being the master of your own universe. And not in a cocky way. Not in a, I'm God of my universe, like you hear about some actors, some Wall Street traders, some people have. But you have the choice to be humble and say, man, thank you. I always seem to get just what I need. We have some people in our Discord that are Hebrew descendants. And one thing that I spent some time on back in the day was studying the Hebrew language and how it translated into the modern forms of the Bible. But in the Hebrew language, God everything that ever was. To me, my version of God is everything that ever was, everything that ever is, and everything that ever will be. Well, in the Hebrew Bible, it says Jehovah Jireh is one name of God, what I call the universe. And Jehovah Jireh means, translated into English, God will provide. How many times do I say to the universe, God, thank you for providing for me? And you know what continues to happen? The universe, the market, my opinion, all work in conjunction with that to continue to feed my family. We continue to have the things that we need. We continue to live the lifestyle that I've created for my family. Well, what happens if I decide to say to the universe, to God, to Jehovah Jireh, like an ungrateful son, like an ungrateful daughter, Daddy, that's not good enough for me. What if you went out and bought one of your kids maybe it was their birthday and you bought them a new Mustang and they spit on it and they said, Daddy, I don't like this Mustang. I wanted a Camaro. I wanted a Corvette. I wanted a GT40. I wanted a Nissan GTR. How you going to feel towards that kid? You're going to feel like, damn, excuse my French, but this ungrateful little crumb snatcher is not happy. I went out and did all this for him. I took care of him. I took time to look after him when he's insignificant in the big picture of the world. And I still chose to look after him, and he's not grateful for it. What's going to happen? I tell you what happens if one of my sons does it. I got 2 sons, and I do spoil them a little bit, but I also make them work hard for everything they got. I make them earn it. But sometimes I give them that benefit. What happens if they tell me, Daddy, I didn't want this. This Lego set is not the good Lego set. I wanted this video game. I wanted this Lego set. Fine, forget you. I'm not getting you no more Lego sets. You go get your own Lego set. You ungrateful son of a gun. Now, what if we told the universe that same thing? That's why the law of relativity is so powerful, because we have the choice to say, I'm going to be thankful. I'm going to look at this as the glass is half full. I was able to get $50, $100, $200 out of this trade to go towards my family, to go towards my vision, to go towards my goal, instead of having the opposite glass half empty thing. Oh, I missed out on this. Oh, it kept running after I get out. I'm a failure. I'm not good enough. I didn't execute properly. I cut it too short. I got FOMO. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm not going to go on any more of a rant on that than I already have. I think you guys get the picture. But we have the chance to decide how we see things in every single decision of our life. And I'm going to introduce a word into this Discord tonight that's called your learning P&L. Let's just say you take a bad trade early in the morning and you are red right off the rip. Well, how you decide to relatively look at that can determine how the rest of your day goes. Let's just say you were green all day and you decided to make a greedy trade at the end and you gave back some of that profit. You have the opportunity to look at that in a couple different ways. The important part that I want everyone in this Discord to focus on is, what can I learn from this? Okay, maybe I lost $20. Maybe I lost $50. Maybe I lost $100. Did this give me positive learning P&L? Did this add to my wins column in the learning? Because if it did, if this experience gave you positive learning P&L, that's almost priceless, guys. Think about that in your career as a trader. Let's just say, you're old and you only trade 10 more years of your life. And that lesson that you learned from that one trade makes you $10, $20, $30 on every one of those bad trades that comes in the future. And let's just say maybe you take 2 of those in the course of a week from now for the next 10 years? How much money is that lesson learned that you got back? And that's what we should be focused on, is our learning P&L, on our long-term growth. And when you put that in your mind, it's much easier to look through that rose-colored glass in the law of relativity, guys. It's very powerful. It helps you make long-term behavior change. It helps you be grateful for what you do get. That's all I'm going to say on this law for tonight. We're going to move on to the law of inspired action. This is a very powerful one, guys. This is a meaningful law of the universe because it gets more so into your higher power. And you could believe in, Ra, the god of the sun. You can believe in Islam. You can believe in Jesus Christ. You can believe in whatever you want. But when it comes to your higher power, how do you connect with that higher power? How do you connect with your inner self? How do you connect to the universe? The law of inspired action states that inspiration will come about when you are aligned with who you are as an extension stated by the law of divine oneness. With the law of divine oneness, which we talked about last night, everything is everything, right? That's why we're flooding the world with love. That's why we're being good to ourselves, because we're part of the greater whole. We're just a small piece of that pie. So what if you tapped into that? What if you tapped into all the knowledge that ever was, that ever is, that ever will be? What if you tapped into all that hurt? What if you tapped into all that pain? What if you tapped into all that judgment? Then your losses are going to be compounded. But what if you tap into all that acceptance? Your losses are going to be forgiven. There's already people that went through what you went through. When it comes to trading, most likely it's somebody in here. I've been through a lot of the struggles that you can be in as a trader, whether it be cut too short, holding too long, over trading, not sticking to the plan. Whatever it is, if there's a way to mess it up, I've went through it and tried to find a solution. And so have others in here. But when you connect to that and you practice this law, it's all about slowing down, getting quiet in your mind. And you create the space for that divine guidance to come forward. If you're constantly in your head telling yourself, I got anxiety about trading, I'm not a good trader, I'm scared, I have fear, I don't stick to my plan, all these things that can fill your mind, then guess what happens? You don't feel the universe telling you the right time. You're not in the flow, so to say. You're not feeling it. And some people are growing in this community to let go of some of that fear, to let go of some of that limiting belief, to let go of those things that were causing them to not be limitless. And we've all seen it in this group, in this powerful mastermind that we have here. But how about when we let go of our need to control how things will work out, and instead we're open to all the possibilities? It makes room for new ways of achieving the goals that we might not have considered. Who do you think knows more? The universe or you? The universe has been here depending on your, theory of creation. Maybe 6,000 years if you think God created the earth. Maybe 100 million years if you think there was a Big Bang theory. Maybe evolution is hundreds and thousands of millions of years. But it's been here longer than me. It's been here longer than old Joker to know a thing or two, right? It's seen a thing or two. Who am I going to trust? And it will come in and tell you what the right answer is. Some religions, they call it prayer. Some religions, we call it meditation. But the bottom line is, it's letting go of the results-based future and being open to accept the blessings. Think about what I just said. Who has more creation power than you or the universe? The universe. Think about who has more ideas to bless you and bless your family. You or the universe? Once again, the universe. Which one do you choose to be in charge? Slow down. Accept where you are. Choose that positive mindset that we talked about before. Choose on a daily, hourly, minute by minute, and even weekly and monthly basis to control your inputs. If you're on Facebook all the time and somebody's arguing over let's go Brandon or I love Donald Trump, what's that doing? It's stealing time that you could be connecting with yourself and with the universe. What if somebody's on there saying, the Georgia Bulldogs are the greatest football team in the last 50 years? That's stealing your time that you could otherwise use. And to me, the Georgia Bulldogs are a positive influence. I love the Georgia Bulldogs with all my heart, and I believe you should chase your pure joy, and the football does give me pure joy. But I don't want you to miss the point because of that analogy. The point is that you have to calm your mind. In almost every version of every spiritual text in this world, it says, if you seek, you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Close that mind, close that mouth. Turn off the Facebook, turn off the Instagram, turn off the Fox News, turn off the Discord. Sit quietly for 15 minutes and say, universe, tell me the right answer. Ask your own self from the inside of you. Bobby, tell me the right answer. Miss Larissa, tell me the right answer. And you know what happens? Your body will produce that for you. You'll tap into that universal mastermind that's larger than we have in this Discord. And it'll give you the answer. And what happens when we get the answer? Let's go a step further. What happens when we get the answer? Then we must be ready and willing to take action in that direction to move closer to our vision, our goal, or our life purpose. This is just a larger version of our trade plan, guys. That's all it is. It's the next exponential past our trade plan. When we see a cross on the 920 and the one RVSI is crossed down and the 3 RVSI is crossed down, we're entering on the first red candle close. True or false? True. If you're Wolfpack, that's your boom. That's your money. You know who butters your bread around here? Give daddy that cash. Right? This is the same thing, guys, just on a bigger scale. The universe is going to give you those signs. The universe, when you're in that zone, we talk a lot about trading in the zone. The universe is going to give you that sign that says this is the next move. This is your trade you've patiently waited on. This is your next thing to learn. This is your next step in your process. Inspired action, that's a hack. That's a hack to fast forward your vision on your vision board. That's a hack to fast forward the next goal that you set. Now, how many of us are guilty of saying, I saw the sign. It said, turn left here, turn right here. And what did I do? The universe ain't going to make you turn. The universe ain't going to put on your turn signal for you. The universe ain't going to jerk the steering wheel. Who's in control, guys? Who's in control of this car? I'm not driving your car and you're not driving my car. We got to take extreme ownership. That's one book I've been listening to by a guy named Jocko Willing this week. And he talks about taking extreme ownership, and that's radical, guys. It goes past brutal honesty to say, I'm in charge of creating my vision every single minute of every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, with every single, where does it start? Because you thought I was going to say action, but where does it start? Thought, word, action, habit, character. Starts with everything, single thought in your mind. The benefit is that we get to control those thoughts, guys. And we can start by saying, universe, please help me. give the right thoughts. Please give me the signs. And then please help me be ready for those signs when they come to me. When you see that wolf pack cross and the 1 and the 3 cross at the same time, volume's way up there. You got your hand on the mouse because you're a real trader. You're not sitting there lollygagging, sucking on a blow pop. No, your hand's on the mouse. You're focused. You're ready. Maybe you've already meditated. Maybe you've got your, self-care already handled. Maybe you've said your positive affirmations and you're here and you're ready and you're focused, and then boom! How many times have I said it? Ride that rocket. Instantly in profit from the minute you get in to the minute you get out. And then what? And then what? Oh, I'm the best trader. My name's Joker. I'm the greatest. No. Wrong. Thank you. Thank you for that money, market. Thank you for that tip that you helped keep me calm, OT. Thank you to all my friends who helped me, encourage me during that trade if I'm in the chat. Thank you for the universe to help me support my family if I'm on my own. If I'm out there and I can't listen to the chat. Thank you. Because what happens? I guarantee you, I got 2 sons. The one who gets closer to me, the one who says, hey, thank you, Daddy. I appreciate you buying me them new Nike shoes for school. That's the one who's probably going to get the hoodie to match. That's the one who's probably going to have the hat to match. Where if the other one says, it's all right. After I went out and worked hard and brought home the bacon and bought him a pair of shoes and it wasn't good enough, you know what I'm going to say? You ain't getting no hat. You ain't getting no hoodie. You lucky I bought you them shoes. Next time I'm going to buy you some shoes for Payless. And I don't even know if Payless still exists. I'm just using this as an example. But that's our next step from that expired action. We asked, we received, and then we're grateful for it. And I'm not going to continue to rant about a heart full of gratefulness. You guys know where I'm coming from on that. But let's talk about how can we marry these 3 together, just like last night. Okay, and everything in the universe, there is a supercharger. There is a cheat code, so to say, and that's what we're trying to unlock, right? How many of you came over here? This Discord's been open, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe? How many of you came over here with terrible win rates, terrible trade plans, or no trade plan? You're trading all over the place. You're willy-nilly. You're running, gunning, and you're doing all this. And now 8 weeks later, you're taking the biggest profits you ever took in your life. You're the most disciplined as a trader that you ever took in your life. That's the fast forward button, baby. We cheat coded it. We made it into a process. Why is McDonald's one of the biggest restaurants in the whole nation? Because it's consistent. It's the same. Yeah, it's mostly garbage. But every now and then you just get that hankering, or you're in a hurry and you say, it reminds me of my childhood. You stop by McDonald's, you go ahead and scoop you up a Big Mac or a quarter pounder, some McChickies, whatever you like. But why is McDonald's the biggest and the best? It's the same. It's always the same. Consistent. It's a process. It's a process. And what happened here? We built a process. We shared it with you. And now you're exponentially growing your process, and you're taking gains of exponential growth. Well, it's the same thing in every facet of your life, ladies and gentlemen. It's you marry these things together and you get the fast forward process, because the law of correspondence shows you, we talk about a roadmap in another series. The law of correspondence says, you are here. Imagine if Siri came in your ears when you took a bad trade or when you took a good trade. When you chose to take care of your transmitting apparatus of your body, the universe said, you are here. Let's just say, like I said last night, you chose to eat that fried chicken and the mashed tater and fall asleep on the couch. The universe said, you are here. You don't have to guess. You don't have to worry about it. It's not subjective. That's where you are. It's the law of correspondence. If you have a mirror, you have a place to start from. What's the law of relativity? How many of us have put into our GPS and said, okay, I'm trying to get from point A to point B? Well, what does Siri say? Okay, there's 3 possible routes. There might get to be, traffic on this one. There's a car wreck on this one. And this one's not the interstate, so you might have stop signs or red lights. Dealer's choice. You pick which one you want, right? That's the law of relativity. And every one of us has the free will and the free choice. And depending on our background, we're going to choose the choice to get from point A to point B. So now you've got a starting point. You've understood that you have a perspective to choose your route. What is inspired action? It tells you which route to choose. You're not out here running and gunning. You're not out here manic. You're not choosing, where do I get in? Where do I get out? How do I get from where I'm at now in my life to this Lamborghini? How do I get from here to being a great partner in my relationship? How do I get from here to being a legend in the trading world? Do you ask for the answer? And the inspired action tells you. Now, what do you got? Last night we talked about our frequency being right. We talked about matching that frequency to what we want to attract. Now, how do we do it? This tells us how to change the dial. If you know that the Denver Broncos comes on channel, WXYZ out of Denver, or it comes on NFL Network, and you want to watch the Denver Broncos that day, you change to channel 13. If you want to watch Jeopardy, one of my favorite shows of all time, you take that vibration, you take the things that you're attracting, the like versus like, and you put it on channel 4, where Jeopardy's on at the same time every night for the last 30 years. And this right here is your TV guide, baby. You look at the law of correspondence, you figure out how you're going to perceive that, and you ask for the correct route. Now your frequency is going to the right channel. You now understand that you have to change the channel, because if you want to watch Jeopardy, you got to get to this channel. If you want to watch sports, you got to get to this channel. If you want to watch Jersey Shore, you got to get to this channel. I don't know what a lot of the female shows are, but I'm not trying to leave y'all out, but you get the idea here. When you marry the 3 of those, this is your TV guide, and you can make that change faster. Because what happens if you automatically know, I got to get to channel 4 to watch Jeopardy, you don't waste time by having to experiment and having to try with channels 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to... Nowadays, we got thousands of channels, guys. The universe is an expanding place, constantly expanding, constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly growing. And you're able to shoot yourself in focus with your frequency and with your vibration and with the exact things that are on your vision board to attract. Boom! Sniper. Now you fast forwarded the whole process of creation. It's powerful stuff, guys. It's powerful. If you really learn how to operate within these guidelines, it's just like I said, it's magic. And hopefully last night I explained to you your frequency and how to adjust it and how to create the things that you like. And hopefully tonight I explained how to use your TV guide to get your frequency onto the right channel. Because first you realize what channel you're on. You realize what channel you need to be. And you realize that you're in charge of deciding that channel and how long you want it to take and how you can get there. You can get there in a Corvette. You can get there in an old pickup truck. And you can choose your creation process as a master creator. This is the key, so to speak. That's really all I have on those 3 tonight. I hope that you guys have a clear picture of how to do that. I like to end on a call to action. Tonight's call to action is going to be a very simple one. It doesn't actually require active action. Tonight, I don't need you to go and put somebody else's buggy back like last night. Tonight, I don't need you to go and tell your neighbor that you love them even though their dog keeps crapping in your yard. Tonight, it comes to what? Take a deep look inside yourself, guys. Take a chance for yourself to look at that law of correspondence and really say, where am I at right now? Then make the decision to consciously look through that with a positive mental attitude, like we talked about in the series leading up to this. Then ask for help. Ask the universe for guidance. Find your inspiration. Realize what your life purpose is. Realize where you want to get and how to get there by finding that inspiration. Take a deep look inside you today, tomorrow, this week. And we'll start putting together these laws of the universe so that you live in that place of love. You live in that frequency of the things you want to create. And you can be a stronger, better human being, which inevitably leads to you being a consistently profitable trader, because this is just, consistently profitable trader squared. This is the next level up, guys. And once again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Mr. OT, for having me. And, I love this Discord and I love y'all. Thank you so much. And I hope you get a better understanding from this.